All right, so
Oh, it's
we are getting
okay.
started right now. Welcome to the show. The show is starting right now. And I'm doing a little bit of a different setup from last week or from yesterday. So hopefully this will work. All right, so let's jump in here. And I am going to move you over and we can see you. All right, hey Jerry. Welcome to the show, Jerry. Thanks for joining. Say hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, perfect. We are on live right now. All right, if you are online, say hello in the chat field. This is the Caroline Live show. Today we have a very special guest star, Jerry Wasinger, founder of Pie Plates, but we'll get more into that in a second here. So hello, Paul Dunn. Hello, Rodney. Thank you so much for joining on time today. Thrilled to have you. Hopefully we won't have a lot of technical difficulties today. All right, so if you are online, say hi, and I'll say hi back. We'll say hi back. All right, so I am going to go through just a few housekeeping notes, and then we're going to jump right into it. Walter, hello, Walter. Thank you for joining again, Walter. All right, so number one, housekeeping notes here. We do this every Thursday, 3 o'clock my time. All right, every Thursday. This is a place of positivity. Yes, we are positive here. All right, this is going to be fun. We're going to have some great interaction, especially today because we got a really great expert in the Raspberry Pi. If you have a super hard question about Raspberry Pi, now is the time to ask it because we have a very expert. We have the total expert in Raspberry Pi on with us today, Jerry Watzinger, the founder of Pie Plates. All right, let's see. Okay, Ed Chin says hello. Hello, Ed Chin. Paul says, oh, good. Well, you can see our chat messages today. And let's see. And Newman says hello. Amani QAIS says hello. Amani, excellent. All right, so everybody join in the fun here. So ask really hard questions about Raspberry Pi today, and they will go to Jerry because he will know the answers. All right, excellent. All right, agenda for today. First up, our expert in Raspberry Pi, Jerry Watzinger, founder of Pie Plates. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about, I got a check for $35,000 last week. I'm going to tell you what happened with it this week. All right, I posted there's a smart toilet paper holder project out there. I'll give you the link for that. And then we're going to try to do a demo. Oh yeah, that reminds me, please mute your devices because I will set them off. Jerry, did you mute your device, your little talking device?
Yes, I muted my Amazon Echo.
Okay, excellent. And then I'm going to reveal next week's video. And that is the agenda for today. All right. Aman from Germany. Hello. All right. Anybody else? Say hi. Okay. So let's talk about Pie Plates first of all, because we've got the
Carol, can I
Raspberry
interrupt?
Pi.
I can't get any. I'm not seeing any video from you.
Yeah, I know. I had to turn it off because I'm doing something weird today. So sorry
Okay.
about that, but don't worry. There is video on the actual YouTube.
Okay.
Sorry. Everyone say hi, Jerry. Yes. So, yes, we will. So let me talk about Jerry here for a second. I'm going to do this intro with him right now. I met Jerry last year, or actually the beginning of this year, right? Last
Yes.
year, we started emailing last year, beginning of this year. And I don't usually get to talk to people that I meet on YouTube in person. It's kind of rare to find another person in Atlanta. So that was really cool that you're in Atlanta, I'm in Atlanta, and we were able to meet in person. You told me about your Pie Plates product, specifically the Tinker Kit, and I wanted to feature the Tinker Kit on my channel. And so you gave me a sample. Thank you very much. And we talked about how the Tinker Kit could help us with our Raspberry Pi stuff. And so we talked about how hot the Raspberry Pi 4 runs and how much we hate how hot the Raspberry Pi 4 runs. So we did a project you did all of the programming. You actually did the project. I just did the video part of the project, right? And I posted it on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen that video, I am going to give you a link to that video later on in this broadcast. So anyway, I posted a video on my channel, I guess the beginning of this year, about how to cool your Raspberry Pi 4 with the Tinker kit. And here is a picture. Well, you can't see it, Jerry. Everybody else can see it. Here's a picture of the project. All right. So anyway, we're going to talk about Pi plates today and what it can do for your Raspberry Pi. And we have a new announcement from Jerry, and it's going to be about the power plate. All right. So Jerry, take it away. Tell me. Let's segue into how that fan cooling the Raspberry Pi 4 segued you into creating the power plate. And if you want to do a screen share, go for it.
Okay. I'll just talk.
Okay.
So yeah, after you did that project online, it got me thinking a little bit about cooling. And I realized that my products sit right above the Raspberry Pi, about 15 millimeters above the Raspberry Pi. And I realized that that's going to trap the air. And without any moving air, without any sort of heat sinks, the Pi is going to get very hot, especially the Pi 4. So I decided to develop a Pi plate whose sole function or primary function was cooling, which led to the development of the power plate. It's kind of hard to see here. Let me get some light on it. And the power plate basically has a few functions. The primary function is to put a fan right above the CPU of the Raspberry Pi. It's got some other functions. Since this is going to be just one board on the Pi plate stack, I asked myself, what are the functions would I have? And so there's a real-time clock on here. There's a power switch on here. There's a assortment of power inputs. So if you've got different power supplies lying around like I do, you can plug any one of them into this and power up your Pi plate stack. Don't know how visible that is. And so clearly, and then finally, there's some power outputs that are always on. So that's what was the genesis of this particular board. That's a bright light. I'm going to turn it down.
Awesome. Awesome. And you're here to present a really cool project that you did with the power plate right now.
Well, the really cool project I did, one of the things the power plate can do is it's got a tiny onboard microprocessor that can stay awake. And what it can do is it can, with a schedule, turn the power off and on to the Raspberry Pi, actually to the whole stack. So if you have a battery operated application, like a remote device, an environmental monitoring device, then my power plate will allow you to turn it off and on at a predetermined time, stay on long enough to collect your data, and then go back to sleep. So to prove out this particular application, excuse me, I designed and built this remote environmental data acquisition system. And the whole thing is solar powered. As you can see from the solar panel, I'm going to pull back a little bit. This big old lead acid battery down there, and it gets charged by the solar panel. That blue box is the controller, and that blinking LED is the Pi plate stack and a Raspberry Pi 4. Get my upper body workout today.
How many pounds is that again?
What is that?
How many pounds is that again?
The battery, that's probably about 20 pounds.
20 pounds. Oh my goodness. Woo. All right.
Yeah. First thing to go during the pandemic.
All right, studio audience, if you have really hard questions or really easy questions, either way, about what Jerry just presented, ask away. This is your shot, okay? These are interactive sessions, and I promise you, he'll give you a lot better answers than I could give you about anything, really. About anything Pi related, but really Pi plates and Tinker kit and the power plate. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what? So let's talk about your project here. How long did it take you to think of that project and then assemble it?
It didn't really take me long to think about it. I happened to. It really only took me about a half a day to put it together. Probably the longest thing I had to do was order the parts from Amazon. And if you go to my website, there's a post that has this particular project on it.
And you should let's do a screen share now. Show them the Pie Plates website. You've got that up, right? And your project. How can they access? They can access this project on their own, right?
They can. And all the code is there. Everything is there. You're going to have to give me screen sharing capabilities.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. Screen share. Does that work?
And yes, that did work.
Okay.
So this is the page that I have on my website that has the whole project on it. Here are the parts that are used, instructions on how to put it together, a block diagram of what's there. Shows all the things I just held up in my hands. Here's a breakdown of what's inside this waterproof box, the battery, the charger and the solar charging controller, and the Raspberry Pi with my Pi plate boards on it on a piece of DIN rail back there. Here's the whole assembly. And if you guys like looking at code, here's all the code in Python. So all the details are there. Here's a typical graph. This is the data from about, looks like about 24 hours of data that just shows soil, water, air, and the ambient temperature inside the box that I was able to collect using a battery and a Raspberry Pi 4.
Whoa, slow down here for a second. All right, let's go back to the graph. Let's look at the graph. Just stop on the graph so we can take a good look at that graph. All right, so let's look at your time intervals.
Oh, I'm taking data on this particular plot. I was taking data about every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes, okay.
So I would go to sleep, and every 10 minutes, the power plate would wake up the Raspberry Pi. And then there was a little program that would run automatically at power up, which launched the Python script, which basically told my thermoplate, which is another one of my products, to collect a set of temperature values. And then the program would tell the power plate, to shut everything down again. And it would repeat 10 minutes later.
And you're shutting everything down and turning everything back on every 10 minutes because it's solar powered and you're trying to conserve on power. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. All right.
So this battery and this solar panel that I'm using is gross overkill, probably, for this particular setup. So I could probably drive a lot more stuff, a lot more peripherals, but this is the particular thing I had on hand.
So when you're looking at the graph, I see, highs and lows. Is that one day it gets really hot, during the day, and then at night gets cool? Is that what that's showing me?
That is correct, Carolyn.
Okay. All right. So this is almost
so you
3
can
days.
see, I left it out a couple of nights, and you can see where it peaked up in the middle of the day.
Okay. All righty. And now, and so from this, could you add on to this project? So we see this project. We're really impressed. Okay, and then is the thought process you add, and could you add that with what you have with your setup? Let's say you've got like a little farm, not a farm, a garden, a tiny little garden that you need to irrigate. Could you hook up an irrigation system?
Yes, you could do that. You could do that.
So let's say you've got a water pump. And then, this is a loaded question because I think I know the answer. This is where I'm going with this, is for the water pump, could you run the water pump from the power plate?
You could. You would probably want to get my relay plate product to turn the water pump off and on. And then you would probably, and then the actual size of the battery would certainly be dependent on how much water you're going to be pumping and how big your garden is. Another application would be, do I want to put my garden in this particular spot in my land, for example? You might want to put this thing out there for a few days or maybe even a few weeks to see how much rain it gets and have, rain gauge on there. How much sun is it getting? How hot does it get? How dry is the soil? In other words, all those environmental measurements that I'm talking about. But then, yes, then you could morph it, and by adding a few other plates to it, maybe removing the thermal plate or something like that, you could turn it into a irrigation controller if you wanted to.
Awesome. So there are more possibilities. All right, so you got your first question. Ed Chin says, does the Pi shut down completely or does it go to sleep?
It shuts down completely. There is a switch, an electronic switch on here that removes all the power to the Raspberry Pi. So that's why there's also a power button on here. So if you wanted to use this as a hard power switch with your Raspberry Pi, you can do that.
And Gabriel says hi. So Ed says hi, Jerry. Walter says hi, Jerry. You're getting a lot of highs on this. So everybody says hi, Jerry. Very good. Another question I have about your project here is when you're working on this is about the power switch. Okay. Why did the designers of Raspberry Pi why is there no on-off power switch on the Raspberry Pi already?
That's a good question. They've slowly been adding features to enable that. But I don't know if it's because early on the OS, the operating system, was not capable of being powered off and on in an elegant fashion. I remember some of the first Raspberry Pis I had, if you just unplugged them, it would corrupt the operating system on the micro SD card. So that's when it became apparent that they had to put something on there. But why they didn't do it in the first place, I don't know. It's a very good question.
But
there's an entire market out there
to the challenge.
Yeah. So I actually have a real hard on-off switch now.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I actually came into Raspberry Pi after the whole corrupt for powering on and off, and yeah, that's the first thing I did was I would accidentally rip out the power cord half the time when I first started with Raspberry Pi, like accidentally, not for real. All right, guys. Any other questions here about the project, about Raspberry Pi, about Power Plate, about Tinkerkit, about Pi plates? I'm going to, while Jerry, you can talk a little bit more about your project, I'm going to copy and paste some links for Pi plates, because we're going to talk about how you can buy this power plate, but you've actually touched on a lot of different products on your website. So I'm going to copy and paste a link to your website in general, and maybe you can kind of do a screen share or just show us how to get to the project, or show us a few of the different products you have on your website.
Well, I can certainly show them that, or I could even show them my desktop if you wanted me to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so prepare to be impressed, y'all. All right, Jerry's coming to you from the headquarters of Pi Plates.
Also known as my basement.
Yes, and he's going to show you his desktop right now.
So this is where I do all my research and development work.
R&D.
And hopefully it's showing up.
Yes. Yeah, we are. Yes. It takes me a second, but
so you can see
we are on right now. Okay, so go through the different components in your I'm really impressed with the oscilloscopes. So talk about that for a second.
Well, I can just start from the upper left. I've got 3 monitors because I'm constantly, if I'm writing code on this one, then I typically have on the lower left monitor, I've got documentation about whatever device I'm writing code with or writing code for. On the upper left monitor, I typically have a logic analyzer, so I can look at what I'm doing in the code and see what the hardware is doing. And then you can see to the right of the middle monitor there is I've got function generator, voltmeter, and oscilloscope. And then on the far lower right, I've got a monitor that's dedicated to whatever Raspberry Pi I happen to be working on. And then since I'm working in my basement, I've got a security system over here. You can see all my outside cameras and the weather.
Okay, you piqued my interest about the security system. Are you using a Raspberry Pi security, a Motion Eye Raspberry Pi security system? Are you using a legit security system?
No, it's just it's a simple, it's no more than security cameras. I apologize if I said system. I'm just using a website, and I'm running that off of a Raspberry Pi 4. And the website does nothing more than bring up this particular page called action tiles. And so what you're looking at are action tiles, and 4 of the tiles are my security cameras. 2 of the tiles are URLs for weather, and 1 of the tiles is just the clock.
Cool.
So that's what's going on in that. So that's really just the Raspberry Pi running its web browser.
All right. Ed Chin says, nice workshop. So,
thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Ed Chin. All right. Okay. So while you were talking, I have posted the links for the power plate. I have posted the link to the tutorial for the solar powered remote environmental data logger, which has your full code, is written in Python, right?
Yes, that's all I provide is Python code. I do have some third-party users who write in other languages, but I'm trying to encourage the use of Python, especially Python 3.
Okay, Python 3. All right, and then I also posted a link to just pieplates.com where they can order your products if they're interested. So I have a lot of international viewers on here. I've got 2 from Germany right now for sure, I think. And if you are from a foreign country, let me know as well. Or if you're from the U.S., let me know where you're from. But how far and wide do you ship, Jerry, from your global headquarters?
I have shipped as far as Singapore, Korea, in the Eastern Hemisphere, and in the Western Hemisphere, I've gone to Belarus, the UAE, just India, Australia. I get a lot of Australian orders. So yeah, and most of my orders obviously are in the U.S., but I've shipped all over the world.
Okay, excellent. So, so if you are interested in doing this solar-powered remote environmental data logger, or you're interested in a power plate or anything from pieplates.com, talk to Jerry. Order online. You can order from his website, pieplates.com. But he does have a bunch of projects on his website, so check that out. He's got all his code uploaded in Python, and you do have libraries, right, for Python for your products for Raspberry Pi.
Yes, I do.
Yes,
I do.
That's very important. Yes, so thank you very much. So anyway, if you guys have any more questions, Jerry's going to stay on for this show, and we're going to try to do this. Alexa, we're going to try to do a back and forth, okay? All right, so let's Jerry, before I move on, anything else you need to let everybody know about pieplates?
I think we covered the main points. Pieplates, I should probably emphasize, I only have one pieplate that supports the hat form factor. The rest of my pieplates are a proprietary form factor that I came up with before the hat was invented or came along. So they're a little bit bigger, but they allow for a lot more functionality and I/O.
Awesome. Okay, Morrison Reed says, hi, longtime follower from South Africa. Wow, this is truly the international show today. So thank you.
I have shipped to South Africa.
All right, so thank you very much for joining. All right. I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, but Aman says, thank you, Jerry. Very impressive projects. All right, round of applause for Jerry, everybody. Woo! But he is going to stay on. So any questions, especially the hard ones, now is the time to ask. All right, so I'm going to go and let's see. We are going to switch back. I need a second to switch back over here. I'm going to move Jerry over there. I'm going to move myself over here. And we're going to move back over into the slideshow over here. And so I got a couple other things to share with everybody today. All right, so last week, I received a check. Well, Atlanta Beats COVID, the organization I volunteer with, received a check for $35,000. Can you believe that? All right. Jay Patriot says hi from Oklahoma. Hi, Jay Patriot. All right. So what did I do? So we had a big check presentation ceremony. I was like Helpy Gilmore up there holding up this huge check that was bigger than me. They took the big check back, but they gave me this little check that I could take to the bank, and we took it to the bank on Monday, and I did a little handoff. And what I'm showing on the screen for everybody except for Jerry is the actual handoff I did with a check for $35,000 on Monday. So if you want to know more about that journey, I do talk about it every week. You know, this whole PPE, making PPE for our community. Jerry, I don't know if you've heard of Atlanta Beats COVID, but anyway, if you want to know more about that, I'm going to post this in the chat field here. I have put together like the whole timeline of what it took to get a donation of $35,000 on my website, carolinedunn.org. I'm going to post a link about that $35,000 donation, you know, how it came about, what we did during, before, and after this huge donation. All right, so if you're interested, please do go and check that out. Thank you very much. All right, so that was a big thing I had to do, or a big thing I've been working on for a while now. And the other thing I want to let everybody know is free tutorial on Tom's Hardware, and it is a smart toilet paper sensor. It sends you an email if you have no more toilet paper in your toilet paper holder. This is especially important for people with more than one bathroom, and you're trying to manage, 5 different bathrooms. How about that? All right, Edchin says, "Grats, Caroline." Okay, thank you, Edchin. All right, so if you this toilet paper holder project is posted on Tom's Hardware. There's an accompanying video on Tom's Hardware. It is a totally free tutorial, and it includes all the Python code for the entire thing and step by step, and it's just all gory detail. So that's how you're going to get a free tutorial on Raspberry Pi with me. All right, so check that out. I just posted the link in the chat field. All right, so, and then I wanted to show everybody this picture. This is not my bathroom. This is a picture of me with a green screen. Jerry, have you ever done green screen before?
I have not done green screen before.
Until last week or 2 weeks ago, I had never done green screen before. And I didn't have a green screen. So you know what I did? I went to the dollar store and I bought a green tablecloth. And then I started superimposing myself in all sorts of places. And then I started doing a video about a bathroom. And I was like, well, I don't want people to see my bathroom. My bathroom's ugly. So then I found a bathroom on the internet and I superimposed myself. Okay. All right. Ooh, Jerry, you have a question. All right.
No, I was actually sending a message to Jay Patriot 12 from Oklahoma.
Boomer sooner.
Yes.
All right. Can we look up pie plates, and does pie plates have anything to do with the thumbnail that has a pie with a solar setup?
Does pie plates have anything to do with the thumbnail that has a pie with a solar setup? Yes. I think we just covered that.
Maybe Jay Patriot, were you? I think he came in like midway through the process.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So what I'm going to do for you, Jay Patriot, is I'm going to post the link again. And Jerry, you're going to give an answer to his question.
So yeah, Jay, we use power plates to control the power off and on to a Raspberry Pi 4 using the solar panel and a backup battery. And as Carolyn just said, she will send you the links to how that's done on my website, or post it on her
in the chat
on her side on YouTube.
Okay. Jay Patriot says, yes, he was late, and thank you so much for answering his question. All right. All right. Go boomer. Boomer sooner. I don't know what that all means, but just all boom. Everybody go and boom and soon, okay? Whatever that is.
If you're from Oklahoma, you know what that means.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So now we are going to talk about, we're going to say the A word, okay? I hope everybody's device is on mute. So Jerry, this really is going to, because the video is not on, Jerry, this really is going to be a very audio only experience for you. So we tried to rehearse this yesterday. It was sort of successful, but what we're going to do is we're going to try to get Jerry to demo out my latest Alexa skill. And it's something I submitted to Amazon in their contest that they just had. The contest closed on Monday. So 3 days ago, the contest closed, and I did submit an entry, and this is my entry into the Alexa Conversations demo here. All right, so, all right, J Patriot 12 says, I have a solar setup that I want to add a Pi to. Hey, look, oh yeah, you and Jerry.
All right, my first sale.
All right, perfect. See, I knew today was a great day for you to join the show. Both of you, J Patriot 12 and Jerry.
Huzzah.
Okay, so if everybody's ready to do this demo, let's try out this demo. So I'll launch the scale, and then hopefully it'll be loud enough that you can respond to it. All right. Alexa, open road trip.
Are you getting ready for your great American road trip? Give us a few of your vacation preferences, and we will recommend the perfect place for you to visit. To get started, say, start your engines.
Start your engines.
Is your idea of interacting with the outdoors, sitting on the beach, climbing a mountain, or opening the window in your ride share?
Climbing a mountain.
Which U.S. city is your departure city?
Atlanta.
For a truly special vacation, would your goal be to make memories, relax, or maximize sightseeing?
I think I would relax.
Do your meals during vacation usually consist of fast food, local cuisine, or fine dining?
Local cuisine.
To sum up your ideal vacation in one word, would you say luxury, adventure, or culture?
Adventure.
Sorry, I'm having trouble accessing your road trip skill right now.
Oh no, boo! I'm sorry. That was terrible. Even
Oh,
the
no.
demo yesterday worked yesterday, so I'm sorry you didn't get anything.
No, where am I going to go now?
I don't know. All right, can we try this? Give this one more shot here.
Okay.
Okay, Alexa, open road trip.
Dead air, Caroline.
Engines.
Uh-oh. Sorry, sometimes I get confused. Let's start over. Please say Start Vacation Finder.
Start Vacation Finder.
For your ideal vacation, will you seek culture, luxury, or adventure?
Adventure.
Is your idea of interacting with the outdoors, sitting on the beach, climbing a mountain, or opening the window in your ride share?
Climbing a mountain.
Is your idea of interacting with the outdoors, sitting on the beach, climbing a mountain, or opening the window in your ride share?
Climbing a mountain.
Do your meals during vacation usually consist of fast food, local cuisine, or fine dining?
Local cuisine.
Is your vacation goal to spend quality time with family, relax, or maximize the site?
Adventure.
So, but Jerry, did you hear that? You're going to Yellowstone National Park.
You said Yellowstone National Park? I did
Yes.
not hear that, but that sounds great.
Okay, excellent. All right, so
That's
you're ready
actually
to plan your next
on my
vacation
bucket list.
now. So you've never been to Yellowstone National Park?
I have not. I want to go see
gosh.
I want to go to the Grand Tetons in Wyoming, and then I want to work my way up to Montana to Yellowstone National Park.
Well, aren't you glad that you have, Alexa to tell you where to go on vacation now?
I sure am, Carolyn, and your skill that you taught it.
All righty. Okay, so that was the demo of my contest entry for Amazon. And so I hope everybody tries it out. So just say, Alexa, launch road trip and check it out. And there are to be completely honest with everybody in the background, behind the scenes, there are bugs. The bugs are not mine. Well, they sort of are mine, but this is a live beta for a new way that they want us to code Alexa skills. And we found a lot of bugs along the way. So it kind of works and it kind of doesn't work, just to be totally honest with everybody. So if everybody could be just kind of patient with Alexa and road trip, I'd really appreciate it. All right, so this is the end of our show. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Jerry, for being my very first guest on this show. And now there's a big reveal. So at the end of every show, I reveal the video I'm going to post on Tuesday of the following week. And the video I'm going to post on Tuesday is the top 5 differences between Arduino and Raspberry Pi. So Jerry, I don't know about you, but I always get the question, hey, which one's better? Should I buy an Arduino or should I buy a Raspberry Pi? Do you get that question?
I don't get that question, but it is a fair question to ask. You want me to answer that question?
Sure, yeah. Give me your take on it.
The Arduino is a lot cheaper. It's a lot faster for real-time applications, but it has limited memory. And out of the box, it does not have internet connectivity like a Raspberry Pi does. A Raspberry Pi is much more powerful, more of a true computer. The Arduino is more of an embedded computer.
How are you on C and C++ coding?
What is that?
How are you on C and C++ coding?
I do a lot of C coding, and so I'm pretty good on that. And C++, I can do just enough to get by and get in trouble.
So that's one of the big differences for me is that when we're on the Pi, generally speaking, I mean, you can do more languages. Mostly we do Python on the Pi. And then on the Arduino, we kind of don't have a choice. It's kind of all that C, C++.
It is sort of a C++ derivative, yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So Gator is voting for the Pi. Thank you, Gator. So I think you guys are a little biased on this show because y'all are kind of Pi people on this show. But hey, there is an Arduino contingency out there, and we gotta respect that, right?
Well, just be aware of the fact that most 3D printers have essentially Arduinos in them. That's how powerful an Arduino is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, why am I using a Pi to run my Arduino printer?
You're using your Pi to run OctoPi, probably, to monitor
Yes.
but the actual stepper motor control and the decoding of the G code is happening in the Arduino.
Okay. All right. So anybody in the audience, if you're an Arduino person, let it be known. But anyway, I'm going to post a video comparing, contrasting the Pi and the Arduino. To me, they're two totally separate things, in my opinion, because the Pi is a computer, is an actual computer, and the Arduino is a board. But there are a couple things that Arduino has on the Pi, believe it or not. Even though it's cheaper, there are a couple things it has on the Pi that I really like, that I wish the Pi did or had or anything. And maybe in a future release they will have that. And but until then, if you want an on-off switch, you're going to have to buy it from Jerry. All right. So
you can unplug an Arduino at any time and not worry about corrupting it.
All right. Excellent. So everybody, thank you for joining the show today. Jerry, thank you very much for being my very first guest star. If you liked me having a guest on my show, let me know, and maybe we can do more guests in the future. But thank you, Jerry, for being the guinea pig here and working with me on this thing.
Oh, it was a pleasure. It was fun. Thank you.
And you'll get to see the video when you watch it back later on. All right. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Hi, Carolyn.